Yo, what's going on, Moses? Your boy Huncho. We're back at it again with another recap for you guys. I'm going to be going over the trade that we took today and how we were able to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of what was going to be happening on FOMC and where SPY was going to be heading to. So if you guys see the trend hold here, I did this on the 30-minute, right? We finally broke out yesterday out of the trend, and we held under 654.93, which is key pivotal was rejected, and the next level I was mentioning to you guys was the 748.72 level, right? Because meanwhile we're above here, you guys can see there's a gap here. We finally got the gap fill, which was something that a lot of people were waiting for, right? But it's all about timing here. And I kind of had a feeling that FOMC they were going to do that because there's always, some form of wipeout, some form of like reset button. They got to do that just so they can like bring in the good numbers, and it's more of a reaction, not really the official move, right? And that right there is kind of like the reset that they do just to fill the gap, and I feel like from now on what they're gonna do is just probably hold around here for a bit until we reclaim above 750 again. We'll probably continue to see more upside and potentially new highs. That's just my opinion. That's just kind of the way I see it. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just kind of like the patterns I've collected that SPY does in these events, right? So the main level I was going to be watching was, I said, 748.72, and we finally broke under, and then we filled the gap finally, and we headed down all the way to even 740. I didn't think it was going to go that low, but yeah, I did mention it would be a waterfall if we ended up breaking into that level, because that's that's an area that was holding pretty well, especially once we broke above and we gapped up. So that area right there was going to be our trigger. And also, fellas, another thing I was looking at is if we look at the VIX, all right. So the VIX here, if we go on, let's just say we'll go on the 15-minute. These levels here in these areas are areas where there has been strong reactions, right? Strong spikes. So perhaps we might not get it to the penny, the exact setup, where we might bounce and retest and get a retracement and then bounce to the penny off of the level, right? But I kind of look at these I look at these areas just as ranges, okay? So whenever we're sitting around here, I'm going to be looking for some form of a setup for SPY to eventually give some form of pullback and such. So that's what was expected down here, and we definitely got the reaction. We got the VIX spike, as you guys can see. We had the bounce off 1622 and 1656, and then when FOMC came through, we just ripped back above, and we tested this 1878 perfectly. You guys can see we rejected right off, and yeah, so VIX kind of gave us the intel for that as well. And yeah, and then we also mentioned, right, the setup, which was under 752.15. All right, so these are the pop days, right? Because you guys know me, I literally like being in trades for like 15 minutes max. Anything above that is just a pain in the ass. It's just not a position I really have fun being in. I like getting quick plays and just getting paid and taking my bread and enjoying the day. That's me, right? I know a lot of people like sitting on the charts all day, and I do like observing, but to be in every single play all the time and just chase every candle is not the way I really want to be, enjoying my time, right? And I don't know if some of you guys enjoy that, but not me. I like getting paid for the day and just, getting paid quick and just, calling it quits, right? So yeah, we retested that 752.15. You guys can see we had the pop here that I was looking for, and there was a couple areas that I was watching. If you guys look, I have these this indicator that kind of gives me the levels. You don't really need this indicator, but it gives you a pre-market low, previous day low, and pre-market high. So you guys can see right here the main levels I look at for open is the pre-market levels, right? So whenever we break above pre-market high or pre-market low, it gives a little bit of indication for where SPY is actually going to go and where our next targets are, where it's going to be previous day low or our next key pivots, right? So you guys can see right here when these two are pretty close. Like let's say pre-market high and previous day are like kind of like near each other, and where price is approaching that area, I'm gonna be more convinced that that area is gonna have a stronger reaction, just because of the basically the two indications there where price has rejected or held. So we have pre-market low and previous day low there, match it perfectly, and you guys can see we ended up basically swiping down there. We sweep down there, we tested it, we bounced up, and then that's what I was looking for is basically a flush, a short the pop. That's what it does. I always wait for the initial move, and as you guys can see, we had that initial move, that initial pop, right? That quick 5 minute candle, and I just fade it. That's literally most of the times that's what happens in SPY within the first 30 minutes. You just wait for the initial reaction, and then you just fade the move, right? So we had the quick pop. I got into puts basically at the tippy top. And yeah, we finally got this nice flush, and this gave us a quick 80% play there. So what time did we get in? We got in at 9:46. At 6:45 puts. We got in one contract on the small port. So yeah, and this play went over 80%. This was a nice bag. Very nice move. And if you held this, you could have even waited for a retest. And I took my profits right at previous day low, because I just was seeing a form of reaction there in the bounce. Buyers were coming in, and we ended up bouncing and testing that 752.15 to the penny. You guys can see this would have been a massive bag if you would have took puts. I had a couple of people that did take puts up here, and this was a great bag for them, and that would have been a way better play. But I mean, even if you did hold runners or puts on those puts, you definitely got paid as well. So yeah, both of them were really good opportunities there. Whenever within the box range, when I mean by box range is whenever we are within pre-market high, previous day high, pre-market low, previous day low, right? What price tends to do is SPY, we tend to just ping pong off of those levels. If it doesn't want to break out, I just look at those opportunities and I have to grab it at the level. You can't wait for confirmation. You have to wait at the level. Either at the level you buy and then fade it, or you have to wait for the breakout and then continuation. So yeah, fellas, that's as clear as I can get there. If you guys have any questions, want me to clear up some things, just go ahead and comment below, or just type me in the chat. But yeah, fellas, that's how we were able to catch this banger on SPY today. We got shouted out on Trade Grader as well. This play, if held all the way, almost went 1,000%. So yeah, the bias was correct. We nailed it once again. So yeah, fellas. That's it for today, and let's continue to bank. See you guys in the next one.